Every fan knows the dynamic. From family football games to Thanksgiving trivia, Monica and Ross Geller fight to win. It is built into their DNA. This relentless drive grew out of the Geller household. Jack and Judy made their preferences clear from the start. Ross was the designated golden child, showered with praise for every academic and personal success. This scale shows the psychological reaction. Left in the shadow, Monica adapted by stacking up achievements. She used tiny victories to demand recognition. Winning became proof she mattered. Now imagine changing one variable. Imagine Monica steps away from the comparison completely. Removing that comparative weight creates a calmer family life, but it also alters the specific traits that define how these characters interact with the world around them. For Monica, the immediate shift is internal. Without the constant need to beat Ross, her obsession with being the best softens. She begins building a life based on her own internal standards, rather than a need for external proof. However, that competitive edge also fuels her professional boldness. In New York kitchens, her need to win helps her fight for authority. Without that aggressive drive, she might still cook, but she lacks the specific intensity required to navigate the jagged path to becoming a head chef. This change ripples towards Ross as well. He spends his entire early life comfortably existing as the successful sibling, relying on the constant validation provided by his parents. Sibling friction creates a protective boundary. Monica pushing against Ross forced him to defend himself, acting as a hardening agent. But without it, that agent is gone. When adult setbacks like divorce strike, his emotional resilience thins out and shatters under the pressure of failure. The friction Monica provided served as a training ground, building the endurance Ross needed to navigate his adult life. These changes extend to the wider group. Monica acts as the social center of gravity, using her need for control to organize traditions and maintain the group's momentum. Without her competitive push, the energy in the apartment shifts. The dynamic becomes more peaceful and less chaotic, but it also loses the momentum that keeps the group moving forward. This lack of momentum has the most significant impact on Chandler, whose emotional trajectory stalls completely. Chandler relies on humor to avoid emotional depth, but Monica's intensity pushes his maturation upward, forcing him to engage with his fears. If Monica stops pushing, Chandler remains in his comfort zone, avoiding the necessary emotional commitments that define his character arc. Without Monica's aggressive edge, the relationship that defined the later seasons never develops, showing that personal evolution often requires a certain level of social pressure. This alternate timeline is a quiet, stable place. But in that stability, the characters lose the specific pressure that forced them to improve. There is a clear distinction between these two types of drive. When competition is used to decide one's worth, it becomes a trap. When it is used to push growth, it becomes a tool. In the show's actual run, Monica learns to separate her competitive nature from her childhood insecurities. She keeps the drive, but changes its purpose, using it to build a successful career and a stable marriage. The rivalries we often see as character flaws are often the same engines that provide the momentum for change. These tensions don't need to be removed. They eventually transition into the catalysts for progress.